Welcome to one and all. I am Vasanta, Department of Computer Science, Gopalswamy PU College, Mysuru. Today, we will start with the new chapter, call it as database concept. Before starting this chapter, I would like to tell you the total weightage of the chapter. In the annual exam, you will get 18 marks from this chapter. Out of 18 marks, 1 question you will get. 1 question you will get, that is in part A, and in part B, 2 marks, 2 question you will get, that is for 4 marks. Totally here 4 marks. In part A, 1 question, in part B, 2 question, in part C, 1 question, in part D also 2 questions you will get in the annual exam. Whereas in part A, 1 question, 1 marks, in part B, 2 questions you will get, then each question carries 2 marks, then 4 marks there. In part C, 3 marks, 1 question you will get. In part D, 2 question you will get. Each question for 5 marks. Then here totally 10 marks. Then the total weightage of this chapter is 10 plus 3, 14, 4 plus 1, totally 18 marks. Totally 18 marks weightage on this chapter you have. That is in part A 1 question, part B 2 question, part C 1 question, in part D also you will get 2 questions in the annual exam. Already we explained what do you mean by data, information, data processing cycle. Regarding that, already we explained in data file handling chapter. Whereas on this chapter, already I told you total weightage is 18 marks. For this chapter, you can write the answers on your own words also. Then also you will get full marks on this chapter. For example, what do you mean by email, or what do you mean by e-commerce? Write the advantages like that. Simple example. On that whatever advantage, if you want, you can write. Then also you will get full marks here on this chapter. Whereas on this chapter, you can write the answers on your own words. Then also you will get full marks. Before starting this chapter, first I just want to tell you some definition. On this chapter, you have data, database, concept, like that. Here are several points. Under that, first we want to explain what do you mean by data. Because for 1 marks, they may want to ask this question, what do you mean by data? What do you mean by information? What do you mean by data processing cycle? Like that they may want to ask for 1 marks. Whereas the chapter name is database concept. Then what do you mean by data? Data is a raw facts, figures and statistics. It is a raw material. Data is a raw facts, figures and statistics. Data is a raw facts, figures and statistics. It is a raw material. For example, if I am to write 123, is it a data or information? 123 here, it is a data because it does not give any specific meaning, whether 123 is a register number, phone number, bus number, like that. It does not going to give any specific meaning. Then it can be called as data. Data is a raw facts, figures and statistics. For example, register number equals 123. Then it can be called as information because here it will show you register number equals 123. It is going to give specific meaning. Whereas data does not going to give any specific meaning, whereas information is a processed data and it is going to give specific meaning. ನೋಡಿ ಈಗ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ಸ್ 123 ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಅಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ನಂಬರ್ 123 ಅಂತ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ಅನ್ನು ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಬರೀ 123 ಅಂತ ಬರೆಯುವಾಗ ಅದು ಫೋನ್ ನಂಬರಾ, ಬಸ್ ನಂಬರಾ, ಸ್ಕೂಟರ್ ನಂಬರಾ, that we don't know. Is it no? That on that time it is a data. Information is a processor data, and with that it will going to give specific meaning. Information is a processed data, and with that it will going to give specific meaning. It will going to give specific meaning, information. Like for example, I want to prepare a sambar. For that, whatever ingredients I am taking, that can be called as data. After preparing sambar, the result what we are getting, that can be called as information. Then what do you mean by data processing? Data processing, already you come to know what do you mean by data? Information. Then what do you mean by this data processing? Data processing is a sequence of or set of operations. It converts data into information. It is a series of actions. It is a series of actions which converts data into information. Data into information. Then for example, I told you I want to prepare a sambar. For that, whatever ingredients we are taking, that can be called as data. After processing whatever sambar we are getting, that can be called as information. It is a processed data. That can be called as information. Is it no? Then data processing andreno, it's a series of actions. It converts data into information. ಈಗ ಸಾಂಬಾರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಏನೇನು ಇಂಗ್ರೀಡಿಯೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಡೇಟಾ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಸಾಂಬಾರ್ ಆ ಇಂಗ್ರೀಡಿಯೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಡೇಟಾ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ? ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ದೇರ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಫಾಲೋ ಸೆಟ್ ಆಫ್ ರೂಲ್ಸ್, series of actions I have to follow. That actions can be called as data processing. ಈಗ ನಾನು ಸಾಂಬಾರ್ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಸ್ಟವ್ ಆನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಪಾತ್ರೆ ಇಡಬೇಕು, ಸಾಂಬಾರ್ಗೆ ನೀರು ಹಾಕಬೇಕು, ದಾಲ್ ಹಾಕಬೇಕು, ಸಾಂಬಾರ್ ಪೌಡರ್, all those things I have to put one after the another. Is it no? That actions can be called it as information, series of actions which converts data into information. Now is it clear? Whereas data processing is a series of actions which converts data into information. Raw material na use ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ನಾನು ಏನೇನು ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಆ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ನ ನಾನು ಡೇಟಾ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, what do you mean by database? Now you come to know what do you mean by data, information, data processing. Then what do you mean by database here? If I want to take a database, for example, I am to take a character. The collection of characters can be called it as field, or we can say it as attribute, or we can say it as string. The collection of characters can be called as string or field. The collection of these fields can be called as record. The collection of these fields can be called as records. The collection of these records can be called as file. The collection of related files can be called it as database. The collection of related files can be called as database. For example, N is the character which I am taking. The collection of characters, for example, name is called as field. The collection of these type of fields, for example, name, register number, father name, mother name, all these things can be called as record. The collection of these records can be called as file. And here, while seeing the definition of database, collection of files nanu database anta kariyodilla. Collection of related files can be called as database here. For example, one file I am to take student file and one more is faculty file. These two files, the collection of these two files, both are related to each other. The collection of these two files can be called as database. ಅಂದರೆ ಎರಡಕ್ಕೂ ಒಂದಕ್ಕೊಂದು ರಿಲೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಾನು ಅದನ್ನು ಡೇಟಾಬೇಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿಬೋದು. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಟೇಬಲನ್ನು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟಲ್ ಪೇಷಂಟ್ ಫೈಲನ್ನು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಕೆನ್ ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಡೇಟಾಬೇಸ್? ನೋ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ these two are not related. Is it? No. It means that when they come on database, the collection of related tables, the collection of related files can be called it as database. Now is it clear? Now you come to know what do you mean by data, information, data processing, what do you mean by character, field, record, file, as well as database. Next, why we need this database? For which purpose we need this database? Whereas already I told you, when they come on database, database is a collection of related files. We used to say that related tables is called it as database. Why we need this database? In the database, the informations are organized in such a way that it can be easily accessed, retrieved. ಈಗ ಉದಾಹರಣೆಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಐಟಮ್ಸ್, ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ದ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್. If you want to process any items, any things, if it is stored in systematic manner, then only you can able to access. ಈಗ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಬುಕ್ಸ್ನ ನಿಮ್ಮ ರೂಮಿನ ಕಬೋರ್ಡಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಆಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಅಲ್ವಾ? ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನೇಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ರೂಮಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕಬೋರ್ಡಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಬುಕ್ಸ್ನ ನೀವು ಪ್ರಾಪರಾಗಿ ಅರೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಈಸಿಲಿ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಆಕ್ಸೆಸ್. ಒಂದು ಬುಕ್ ಅಡುಗೆ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ, ಒಂದು ಬುಕ್ ಬಾತ್ರೂಮಲ್ಲಿ, ಒಂದು ಬುಕ್ ಬೆಡ್ರೂಮಲ್ಲಿ, ಒಂದು ಬುಕ್ ಹಾಲಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಯು ಈಸಿಲಿ ಆಕ್ಸೆಸ್? No, it is not possible. Systematically, if you arranged all the data, then easily it helps to access, retrieve, all the process we can able to perform. Whereas here, if the data is stored in systematic manner, in proper manner, then it helps to access the data easily. It has to be arranged in systematic manner. Now is it clear? Now I am going to tell you one definition regarding the database. To perform that, what do you mean by data? Already you come to know. What do you mean by information, data processing? Okay, now I am going to tell you the definition of database. Database is a collection of logically related data organized in such a way that it can be easily accessed and processed. That is nothing but updated, managed. That is nothing but database. Now you come to know what do you mean by data, information, data processing. Why we need? If it is organized in such a way that we can easily access. Is it? No. For the sake we need database. Database is a collection of logically related data organized in such a way that it can be easily accessed, managed, updated. Now is it clear? Then next, now already you come to know regarding database data. Then what do you mean by manual data processing as well as electronic data processing? Because it's a very important question. In the annual exam, for 5 marks, they may ask this question. Write the difference between manual data processing as well as electronic data processing. Then, what do you mean by manual data processing? Manual data processing is nothing but, here the work is done by manually, by human beings. ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ಯುಯಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡೋದನ್ನ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರೆಯಬಹುದು? ಮ್ಯಾನ್ಯುಯಲ್ ಡೇಟಾ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸಿಂಗ್. Then what do you mean by electronic data processing? By using electronic devices. If you process the data, then it can be called as electronic data processing. Because in the exam, it's very important question. They will going to ask, write the difference between manual data processing as well as electronic data processing. Manual data processing and another one is electronic data processing. Electronic data processing. What is the main difference between these two? In manual, already I told you, it is done by human beings. Whereas in electronic data processing, work done with the electronic devices. ಈಗ ಜನರಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೂ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನಿಕ್ ಡಿವೈಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೂ ಏನೇನು ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ? ಈಗ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಕೆಲಸನ ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆಯಿಂದ ಸಂಜೆ ತನಕ ಒಂದು ಕೆಲಸ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಆ್ಯಕ್ಯುರಸಿ ವಿಲ್ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸಸ್ ಒಬ್ವಿಯಸ್ಲಿ. ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಅವರ್ ನೀವು ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಗೆ ಬಂದಾಗ ಇದ್ದ ಆ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಯುರಸಿ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಅವರ್ಗೂ ಇರುತ್ತಾ? ನೋ, ಇಟ್ ಮೇ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸಸ್. Accuracy will reduce us. Whereas in computers, for example, I'm going to take electronic devices, computer. ನಾನು ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ ಯಾವ ಕೆಲಸ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ ಸಂಜೆ ತನಕ ಅದೇ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು ಕೂಡ accuracy will be perfect. Is it no? Accuracy will reduce us in manual data processing. As well as time consumption. Time ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ತಗೊಳುತ್ತಾ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಿದ್ರೆ? Yes, it takes more time in manual data processing. ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಕೆಲಸ ವರ್ಕ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ಇಟ್ ಟೇಕ್ಸ್ ಲಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೈಮ್. ನಿಮಗೆ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಕೆಲಸ ನಾನು ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಟೈಮ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಮೋರ್. ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್ ನೋ? ಅದೇ ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟರ್ಗೆ ಅದೇ ಕೆಲಸ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಆಬ್ವಿಯಸ್ಲಿ ದ ಟೈಮ್ ಕನ್ಸಂಪ್ಷನ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ವೆರಿ ಲೆಸ್. ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್ ನೋ? ಯು ಕಮ್ ಟು ನೋ ರಿಗಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ accuracy, time. Then what are the other things? Main difference in manual data processing, we may require paperwork. Is it no? Whereas in electronic data processing, we does not require any paperwork at all. Now we come to know regarding accuracy, time consumption, paperwork. Any other difference between these two? Time ಆಯಿತು, accuracy ಆಯಿತು, ಮತ್ತೆ paperwork ಇದೆ. Then any other difference? The cost wise. When they come on cost wise, the manual data processing cost will be more, whereas in electronic data processing, the cost will be less here. That's it clear. Cost wise ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಮ್ಯಾನ್ಯುಯಲ್ಗೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನಿಕ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಬೇಕಿರುತ್ತೆ. Then any other difference? Labor work is required in manual data processing. Labor work will be more, whereas in electronic, we does not require more labor work. Is it no? Then speed wise, which is more? When they come on speed, manual data processing speed is less, whereas in electronic data processing, the speed will be more. Then what are the difference? Time. Time ಹೇಳುವಾಗ ಯಾವ್ದು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? ಮ್ಯಾನ್ಯುಯಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Accuracy, manual ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದೆ, electronical accuracy will be more. Paperwork is required in manual. In electronics, we does not require any paperwork. Speed wise, manual is less, electronic will be more. Labor work is required in manual. In electronic, labor work is less. Like that, there is a difference in between manual data processing as well as electronic data processing. The first I have to take regarding the manual. Time requirement is more here in manual data processing, whereas when they come on electronic, time requirement is less. Then accuracy is less here. Accuracy is less, whereas here accuracy will be more, is more. Then any other difference? Here we are written time, then accuracy, then anything else? We required paperwork. It requires paperwork. Paperwork. It does not require paperwork. Does not require paperwork. Then speed wise, speed is less. Speed is less. Here speed is more. Speed is more. Labor work requires. Labor work is more. Here labor work is less. Labor work is less. Like that, you can write any other difference between manual as well as electronic data processing. Time aito, accuracy aito, it requires paper, and your storage medium is also paper, and your storage medium is not a paper. Is it like that? Whatever difference you want, you can write here. Storage media is paper. Here storage media is hard disk or secondary storage devices. Secondary storage devices. Like that, whatever difference you want between manual and electronic data processing, that you can write here. Then on this class, you come to know that what do you mean by data, what do you mean by information, data processing, then difference between manual and electronic data processing, what do you mean by database, why we require this database, that is need of database. Then can you tell me the applications of this database, where exactly we are using this application, especially we are applying this database concept. The application of database is banking alle use ಮಾಡಬಹುದು for maintain the information, schools, colleges, for example, employees salary maintenance, for that way we may require hospitals, railway station, airports, whichever field you want, there we need this database. That you can write the application of database. Now is it clear? From this chapter you come to know data, information, data processing, manual and electronic data processing, why we need this database concept. Then especially this database is a specialized format for organizing and storing the data in such a way that easily we can able to access and process. Now is it clear for all of you? Next class we will continue with the same chapter with another concept. Thank you for all of you.